I'm with today Mike Wordingham, who's the policy manager of the Royal National Institute of Blind People here in the UK. Mike, we want to talk about cash, but let's first talk about the extent of the issue in this country. How many people are your potential beneficiaries, if you like?
Yeah, well, we estimate there's around 2 million blind and partially sighted people in the UK with some kind of sight loss.
Yeah.
And go from everything from uncorrected refractive errors to different conditions like age-related macular degeneration and retinitis pigmentosa, etc.
Are these people in danger of being excluded in society, do you feel?
Society can design people out of things, so I think it's really important, and it's our position that inclusion and accessibility should be designed into everything that local authorities, that banking services will do to include everyone that can that needed to be included. Because I think of it in terms of the 3 pillars of accessibility, or the 3 pillars of inclusion, which is that there's a moral case, obviously, that everyone should have the same service. There's a business case because we're all customers and our money is as good as anyone else's. And then there's a legal obligation in various areas to make things accessible to everybody.
Yeah, so talking about cash, specifically about ATMs, I know some years ago quite a lot of work was done to ensure that ATMs gave blind people proper access, so fitting them so that a jack could be employed so that you could actually hear the transaction. So is that something that was spread to all ATMs in the UK?
Unfortunately, it hasn't gone to all ATMs. We haven't done research too recently, but our latest research says that it was around, I think it's around a third of them were accessible.
Right.
But it changes all the time because we've heard that when software's updated, it can make a difference. Some of them haven't been turned on when they should be. And so, as you can imagine also, as technology changes, accessibility needs change. So the jack that you're talking about, fewer headphones have that kind of jack now.
Of course.
And then there's obviously the placement of where they are. They used to be far more in bank branches.
Yeah.
So as bank branches close, some blind and partially sighted people don't feel safe getting money out on the street, and the lighting might not be right. There's all sorts of barriers to us being able to access cash machines in the same way as everybody else.
Yeah, and I presume a lot of the people that you're interested in helping do rely on cash. They want to use cash.
There does seem to be, a lot of people use cash on a regular basis, as I think your research has shown. And although it should never generalise, but sight loss is often associated with older people who may be much more used to using cash. And one of the challenges that a lot of people face when they start losing their sight, particularly later in life, is access to technology. So we know that people with sight loss are twice as likely to be digitally excluded.
Ah, right.
And so won't have access to some of the apps, or getting their cash or online banking. So as you say, cash becomes more important to people who have other barriers to accessing cash.
Yeah, that's an interesting point about digital exclusion. And if you take those things together, if you're excluded from a payment method that you prefer, and also digitally excluded, you're very seriously impaired, aren't you, in terms of your participation in society?
Absolutely. I mean, it can cause all sorts of problems and lots of unintended consequences. So even if you lose your sight, you learn how to use assistive tech, so screen readers, and you can access cash via your app. Again, all that can happen is maybe there's a software update and things move around, or it's not built quite correctly, and then this crucial service that you really rely on is then you're excluded from again until things get sorted out. So there's real challenges to using digital only or digital first. I think the idea of choice, as you're talking about, is really important. We need to have all of the choices, the same choices as everybody else, to access cash in all different types of situation and all different types of businesses.
Of course. Well, when we asked the British public in June this year through YouGov, we found that 71% of people supported a Payment Choice Act, which would give people the right to use cash, but not just cash, the payment method they preferred. And I think that's something that you would be in sympathy with.
I think that don't be too prescriptive about how this works, but it needs to be important that accessibility and access to cash is built into all the services, and the choice is there for people, whether that is more accessible bank machines in areas that people can get to, or sort of banking hubs, which I think are being rolled out to make sure that they're designed accessibly that people can get to. If you think that when you restrict choice, we're already, as blind and partially sighted people, our choice is already restricted in so many areas.
Yeah.
And so, getting about and travel in rural areas can be really difficult. So, if you can't get to a cash machine, or if you can't get to your cash, then it can cause real problems.
Absolutely, Mike. I think we should maintain choice for everybody, but particularly for people who have already got enough challenges in life.
Yeah, it's important that we have the same service as everybody else.
Absolutely. Mike, thank you very much.
Thank you.